Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Wednesday afternoon with a very live Dot. It's been many a few weeks since we have been able to come to Kobold Chats live and not give you some back content from conventions and shows from Dragon Con, so I'm really excited to be here because Kobold Press is in the middle of a very important Kickstarter, one we have been gearing up for quite a while, and we have a lot of really exciting content in it and a lot of really exciting content around it. So today, it's just going to be me showing you some behind the scenes for our brand new Kickstarter, The Wastes of Chaos. We have had a lot of questions of, what is The Waste of Chaos? Is it a setting? Is it a book? Well, I'm here to tell you yes and then some. So I wanted to deep dive into it today, but before I do, just a couple announcements for all of you. Welcome in, Other Dot, and I saw you there too, Scry Society. I'm so glad you're joining us today as we talk about our new Kickstarter. Couple things. Do not forget that tonight, every Wednesday for the next few weeks, you can go and head over to Realmsmith TV on either the Twitch or the YouTubes, wherever you choose, and check out our brand new show that is highlighting content from both The Wastes of Chaos and Tome of Heroes. It is set in a dusty, apocalyptic wasteland setting and is not one to be missed because it is our very first in-studio Kobold Press production in partnership with Realmsmith TV. We are over the moon excited to both have worked with them and to be able to present you kind of a next big step up in our actual plays. The cast is incredible. It includes Katie Asaurus, who you might know from TikTok. 1.6 million people follow Katie. Jesse Jaredick, your big snuggly bear friend, both online and in person. KP11 Studios, Omega, Critical Bard, and myself, along with our other dear kobold, Alexander Stangram, and we all sit down under the guide of our GM, Realmsmith, Jason Azevedo, and the show is just out of this world. We're only one episode in, so you're not that far behind. In fact, you have enough time right after this to go take a peek before the show starts at 8 p.m. tonight. Sorry, y'all, I'm on kitty cat duty. You want to show everybody how cute you are? I know, your life is so hard. So hard. Oh. She's in snuggle mode right now. Sorry, y'all. It's afternoon snuggle time. So, without further ado, let's actually talk a little bit about what you can expect from The Waste. Oh, I had one more announcement. I do not want to forget. Halloween is coming. It is not only Dot's favorite month, but it is the perfect month for spoopy and spooky content. And we're excited to be partnering with Athena over on Half Dragon AP once again for another show. Eric Frankhouse is in the GM seat. And y'all, I just have to say, I have never seen somebody use Roll20 the way that Eric Frankhouse uses Roll20. It is unbelievable and absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to show off this episode run that's going to start in October, and we're going to be showing off the new Book of Ebon Tides. So for those of you that have finally gotten your copies in hand, if you're still waiting on them, I promise I got a notice today, I think, of last shipment in our Slack. So it's coming if you don't have it. But the book is awesome. Hang on, I got one right here. I got too many Kobold Press books. No such thing. Pow! Pew 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 pew! Look at this book. Now, I love the Realm of Shadows setting. It's one of my absolute favorites from Kobold Press, but y'all, I am obsessed with this book and what's inside of it, and I cannot wait for this little 4-episode run. We start filming this week, and we'll be giving you all the spoop for Halloween in October, so make sure to keep an eye out on our social media as we announce that show. And if that's not enough for you, like if Ebon Tides is just not enough, at the end of the month, we're going to be bringing back our monster series. I know. We know that you loved our oozes, but it will not be oozes this time. What better thing to bring in for Halloween than mimics? So you can see a table where all of the players are not playing adventurers. No. They are playing mimics. Mimics from our brand new Tome of Beasts 3 that's going to be coming. We'll be showing off some of those mimic options. And these mimics are just trying to protect their house, which a bunch of adventurers feel like is haunted. And they're coming in to clean it out. And the mimics are going to do everything in their power to keep their house haunted. So it's a perfect little Halloween. It should be a family-friendly show, something fun to sit down, and we'll be announcing that. I think right now we have the date down as October 30th, so the day before our dear Halloween. And we're looking to make it a charity event, so you'll be able to make some donations to a charitable organization, TBD. And as you do, each donation you make is going to give the mimics candy to munch on, and each candy will have some fun properties and things that they can play with. So there'll be a lot of ways to interact on that show. Okay. It's done. I got all the announcements out of the way. Now let's talk about the really fun stuff, which is the Wastes of Chaos. So what I thought I'd do is I'd start out by pinging over to the Kickstarter and starting a breakdown of what you can see, what might be available to you, and we have a preview PDF of one of the chapters, which I'll be pulling up today, along with some art and some extra things for you to take a look at along the way. So let's actually talk about it. So I think the most important thing is to talk about the fact this is already funded, y'all. I'm sorry if you didn't know. Hooray for us! In fact, we are just about $200 away from meeting another stretch goal, which is really exciting. Maybe we'll do it while we're live today, and I'll get up and do a dance or something. But let me pan on over here and turn on... I gotta make sure I do the right one. Here we go. Boop. There we go. All right. So check this out. Kickstarter, look, $150,000 of our $50,000 goal. We did make it in the first day, so you can be assured that this product is coming to you. Now, this also means we've got a bunch of stretch goals that are already, and we're already hitting, so I want to talk about what those are as well. But let's just start with, what is this? How many times as a GM, or maybe even a player, have you sat down and really wanted to play an apocalyptic setting? I know we're so close, Scry. We're so close. Maybe today, maybe while I'm talking, we'll make that $50,000 goal, $150,000 goal for our stretch goal. How many times have you asked yourself, I really wish I had the perfect apocalyptic setting, or I wish that I had the tools necessary in a 5e capacity to run or build an apocalyptic setting? That is what the Waste of Chaos is. It is a book, not a campaign setting, not even a location setting. It is a guide. It is a book full of the tools that you as a player or a GM can use to build a wasteland setting. Now, that means you could do it in a variety of ways, because a lot of the new races that are in this aren't just orcs and goblins, which we'll talk about, but you also get the automaton. You get an alien race, because sometimes your apocalyptic wastelands aren't just dusty. Maybe they're barren. So there's a lot of options and ways that you can kind of use it to build out something awesome. And that's actually what Jason Azevedo has done for our Tales from the Wasted West. It's actually a dusty western campaign set in kind of this barren, he called it the Dreadlands, and I love that name, this Dreadland setting that has this western aesthetic. And we were able to use not only a ton of content from the new Waste of Chaos book, but obviously we had to break out some of the gunpowder classes from the brand new Tome of Heroes. So together between those two books, Jason was able to build a completely brand new setting up on his own build and his own ideas using this content. And we as players were able to come in and find exactly what we needed from this book and a few of our other character building books to really just dive right into that setting. And it worked so beautifully, if I do say so myself. So yes, lots of backers. About 15 days to go, so you have until the end of the month, everyone, or just a little over, so right into October. But there's a lot of additional cool things. Like, I know that the Cult of the Black Goat is a large part of this, these kind of cults that arise in apocalyptic settings. The art is out of this world. You can see this piece here as well, and I'll show you the front cover here in just a second. Now, it is not just the Waste of Chaos. You can also back the secondary book, Tales from the West, not the Wasted West. Tales from the Waste, not Tales from the Wasted West. That's our campaign. Tales from the Waste is a book full of short adventures that you can run inside of your own setting that you build with the Waste of Chaos. It uses a lot of the content, things like the Vile Cult of the Black Goat, the Doom Bringers, which are really, really cool. And lots of really cool maddening magics that kind of go along with that. So if you want both the book and you want the adventures to go with it, that you can build out your own table with, we've got both books available to you. You might have seen a similar setup when we did the Book of Ebb and Tides, because there was the Tales from the Shadows. So I love this. Whether you're running an established setting or working with an original or homebrew setting, Waste of Chaos adds danger, chaos, epic locations, creatures, and magic to any one of those campaigns. Oh, Scry, I can't wait for it to come to Shard. I mean, we were lucky enough to get to use Shard and thank you, Shard, so much for supporting the Tales from the Wasted West campaign that's currently running over on Realmsmith, because Shard made this so easy for us to use. I had to kind of manually put in a few things that aren't available yet, but I too am very excited. I have some ideas of the campaign that I want to run. Now, for those of you that know Kobold Press very well, or at least know Midgard very well, you might find this is a little reminiscent of a setting that's already part of Midgard, the Wasted West, which is not Western at all. In fact, it's a little bit more eldritch and scarier, I'd say, than that. You'll find that some of the ideas that Wolfgang and the original writers used to build the Wasted West section of Midgard has been pulled into this. Now, not the Wasted West itself, but the structure, the idea of the Doombringers and these kind of things kind of were inspiration. And so what they did was they stripped away the specificity of Midgard and made it more of a tool guide so that you can pull exactly what you need to build out what your table's looking for. This book is roughly half rules, including general things. And it also contains chaos, mythos, and wasteland-themed locations, NPCs, and organizations. So I think that's helpful to know kind of what the book is half and the other half. There are... oh, look, hey, here's a full-size table of contents. Let's see if I can get that pulled up real quick. Oh, but I can't. Oh, wait. Can I see it? Boop, boop. Yeah. So you can kind of get an idea here of what you're looking in, right? It talks about how and why this land is dangerous. So what are you using to do that? What heroes are like for Borderlands or Dreadlands or apocalyptic settings. People, tribes, and cults that might be found here. Certain specific places of chaos, and each one of these should be able to be kind of plucked and placed where you need it in your game, which I love. Those kind of things are very, very helpful. You've got a lot of monster options, and again, not all of them are going to be set to just one specific thing. I mean, look at all of these. Eldritch horrors, trolls, wasteland worm. Oh, now I want to run a Dune game. A Dune-ish game, I should say. Of course, it's not a Kobold Press book unless we have brand new spells and magic for you, along with some cool gear and ancient treasures. I know you may have the Vault of Magic sitting on your shelf, but these are going to be new items, including Doom magical items, which I love that idea, for your gear and your ancient treasures. And then if you are interested in running in our Midgard Wasted West, we have some additional kind of appendices pieces that expands on that, gives you new, and fits right into Midgard if you're already running a Midgard campaign. So know that even though this book is a guide, it is not completely devoid of what you might need to continue in your Midgard setting. And then a whole bunch of pre-prepped encounters, which I think is very, very helpful as well. And again, can be slotted into any scenario in which they fit. Hey, thanks for that download, Kobold Press. That's pretty cool. Now there's a whole lot of rewards, right? I'm actually going to take I'm gonna give y'all a big. Let's see this one. Boop. Let me give you a big version. Oop, wrong one. Look at that cover art though. Come on. Look at that cover art. This is the one I was looking for. There we go. There we go. So you can see here's just kind of a rough, quick spread of what some of the pages will look like. Still very standard 5e, so you'll be able to find exactly what you're looking for, but with that little bit of a Kobold Press touch. And you can see some of these incredible creatures and the art that is going to actually be in this. Now, these sample pages here, we'll take a deeper look at in just a second because I have a sample PDF of them, and we can kind of talk through them, look through them, and crack open what might be on the inside. Now, if you would like a download of that PDF, you can head over to the Kickstarter. I'm going to drop a link in chat. Or you can go to Kickstarter.com and search Wastes of Chaos. Don't spell chaos wrong. I always get the O before the A. The A comes before the O, everybody. And there's a link there in chat that you can directly click to. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll have a link down below. Go check us out. You can get all the same information, but you can download the sample pages as you see them on the screen right now for you to take a look at in your own time and see what the rest of the book may look like as it kind of finishes itself out. Now, we cannot forget that in the midst of all of this, we also have a ton of awesome VTTs for this, because not all of us get the luxury of playing in person. And so VTTs can be our way of playing with everyone. And we cannot forget our dear Shard. Shard Tabletop, I was just kind of mentioning how excited I am for it to come to Shard. You will be able to gain access to the Shard package for every backer that backs at the $29 reward tier, which is super duper awesome. And like I said, I'm a bit of a fangirl, but I'll take my fangirl cape off for a second and just tell you, Shard is a fantastic VTT for those that might be starting out in VTT and those that are using 5e content. It is a literal no-brainer, and I was able to use it on the spot to build encounters to help Jason while we were at the table that fast. You can actually see that happening, I think, in one of the upcoming episodes where he's like, oh, we're going to do this thing, and I kind of pick, pull, drop tokens. The initiative tracker is one of my favorite things in the whole world, and the ease of use for both the GM and the player is kind of impressive, if I do say so myself. So this is something that you're going to get for simply backing at the $29 tier or up, which is really, really, really cool. And you can kind of see that over here. So you'll get your PDF, you'll get your Shard license, and then additional preview and updates along the way. So that's really one of our lowest tiers, and think about how much you're going to get out of it. Now, as you continue, you can always add more stuff. We've got other VTTs for those of you that love Roll20. Roll20 is available as well, and there will be some other VTTs coming in along the way. Usually Foundry takes us a little bit longer. Sorry, everybody. So we may get that post Kickstarter, but you can expect at some point it will come to Foundry as well. But if you're like me and you really, really love something a little special, of course we have a limited edition cover for this. And not only is it leather bound foil pressed, no. It is purple. It is purple leather, everybody. And I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this design. It's so intricate. It's so beautiful. So it's got a double color foil inlay press into the purple leather. And I think this book is just going to look outstanding. I feel like, do I even have, oh, I do. I don't have, y'all, I have so many books. Let me just put these back. So I do have the Tome of Heroes leather press, so you can actually take a look at what the final version is. It's a very thick leather cover. I've had no damage done to this, and it's traveled to 2 conventions already. The foil does not peel. It even sat in my hot car in Georgia for a few days, so you're not going to have to worry about it coming out or peeling or any of that. And they are just so super beautiful. So if this Tome of Heroes is anything to prove what the quality is going to be like and the final product, I imagine these silver and green and purple leather limited editions are just going to be mwah, chef's kiss. Yeah, and then of course we have our big one, which will be another leather bound copy. I think this one is like red, and it's got like a special spine stitch and a bunch of other stuff. So you can take a look at each one of those as you go through. You can see here Roll20, Shard, and Fantasy Grounds are the VTTs we have available now. In addition, there'll be a whole lot of digital rewards that you can add on to this. There is a retailer backer, so if you're a retail store out there, we're still hitting you with those retail backer rewards so that you can stock out for your stores. And then there's a whole bunch of add-ons, because what would we be without a couple really cool add-ons? Most importantly, minis. We have always had questions about more minis. You have the best beast. Where can I get them? Effin' Cool makes all of our minis, Effin' Cool minis, and Effin' Cool does a fantastic job, and they have designed custom minis from this book based on the creatures, the cults, the things in it for you to be able to add to your packages. So if you plan to play at a table and you wanted to get minis, they will be ready to go when all of this ships, and you can see the entire set of the 21 minis that comes with it. It looks like maybe our super flying creatures are still being rendered. We don't have renderings for those, but you can check those out as well. There's small groupings if you only need a couple things or you know exactly what you might want to run. Oh, hi, bye. Blocking you in chat. Sorry, we're not interested. As my mother used to say on the phone when people would call. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's see what else we've got in here. Lots of ways to add to your pledge. Lots of countries that we'll be shipping to. But let's talk about these stretch goals. A question is, did we make it? Did we make it? No, so close. So close. We're so close. So you can see we've already worked through all of these following stretch goals, which include the Doombringer Fighter subclass, which is, y'all, that subclass is going to be super cool. I can't spoil it for you because it's a stretch goal, but it's going to be so good. They've added a new adventure, so you're not going to get 11. I believe you get 12 now adventures and Tales from the Wastes. The Waste Dragonborn variant race, which is really, really cool. So I know there's a variant race on orcs and goblins. Now we'll be able to add Dragonborn to that as well. And then you get these monster builds, not character builds, but monster builds for the following, including the Dust Goblin Archmage, which will be very cool. The Wasteland Lizard and y'all, a Tentacle Crab. I'm very excited about the tentacled crab. That sounds like something I would absolutely put in my campaigns. We're at almost 150k, so we're getting very, very close to the form-fillable character sheet and a few of these other stretches as well, including some more monsters and new more adventures. And this is a Twitch stream with the designers, Adventures in the Waste. I imagine that'll follow my plate, but I would love to sit down with them. So we got to hit these stretch goals. If you haven't told somebody about this Kickstarter, go right now. Pick a friend. I know you got one friend and all of your friends that play tabletops that love apocalyptic settings that probably doesn't know about this awesome resource. Now, did I get it all? Yep, great, perfect. Okay, I covered it all. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top because what I want to do before this is all done is, one, take some questions. So I can do that as I chat. If you have questions, drop them in chat now. If I can answer them, I will. Not everything I'll be able to answer for you. But we've had a lot of questions about this Kickstarter in general because it's not a setting book. It is a guidebook to building a setting. So we want to make sure that we answer your questions and we get those kind of handled for you. And I'm here to do that today. So let's actually pop over. I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to turn this one on. So this is the sample preview from the Kickstarter. What I'm about to show you, you can get at home by going to the Kickstarter and downloading the PDF so that you can see it with your own eyes. But I love this cover. I love it. It's just so cool. And it's going to be, as usual, one of our really awesome dual spreads. So the front cover art actually covers both the front and the back as one massive piece. It's so beautiful. Some credits so you can see who all, I'm going to zoom in just a smidgen. You can see maybe who all is writing on this. We have some really, really great names involved. I was going to see if there was anybody maybe you don't know. Nope. All of them are in there. And then you can see here we go. Here's the cover. So here's the full cover and the Tales from the Waste cover. This is our adventure book, of course. So it looks like this is actually a snippet about the Cult of the Black Goat, which is one of the Wasteland-inspired factions in the Waste of Chaos that you can use to build out your campaign, no matter what you choose to create, homebrew or otherwise. Yep, great. So this is actually a section about the factions in this book, and I'm gonna zoom out just a little. There we go. So we can see everything, though my eyes are horrible. This creature right here must be the Black Goat. Gotta be. Don't you think? The Cult of the Black Goat? Well, let's find out. So it looks like what they're doing with this book, which I think is really helpful, is setting up the cult and then giving you some adventure hooks. So even if you don't get the adventure guide, the core book, Waste of Chaos, will have nice, meaty hooks for you to choose and build off of, which is always nice because if you're like me, sometimes I just really like to build my own stuff, and that is A-okay. So let me scroll here and see if I can't read a little bit. So the Black Flock gathers in many forms, and her speakers preach the truth of the mother whose lions bring forth multitudes in her grand and terrible manifestations. Ooh, that's a lot. I love that. Her followers devout themselves to themselves, the embodiment of their goddess's children, entitled to lay claim to as much power as they can acquire, as it is their divine right. The Black Flock's influence lies hidden, expansively spread throughout the waste. It crops up whenever it finds footing and worms its way into the consciousness of individuals hungry for the omnipotent secrets of the goat of the woods. Oh, so good. So good. Now, the cult of the black goat stands as one of the most insidious and dominant of the black flock, masquerading behind as the summed roles of existing gods. They offer aid to the ignorant and unwary, luring them into subjugation. Establishing absolute dominance, cultists lead their followers down the goat of the wood's deprived path of enlightenment. Through shepherding, cultists undergo rebirth for themselves and the mindless, unknowing, ignorant masses. Now, they believe their purpose is to grow the black flock and help their mother goddess awaken her influence. Love that. The following tenets dominate the dogma of the cult of the black goat. Life begets death begets life. Very druid of them. In flesh, power. In mind, a bond. Ooh, love that. And then we've got, slay the fear of death. Oh, the faithful must awaken the necessity for rebirth and transformation and slay the fear of death. Oh, love that. Gave me little goosebumps. Now, some really cool adventure hooks here, right, on how you can kind of use the cult of the black goat. Without a trace, the characters are called to a small wheat farming village to speak with an individual, perhaps one of the character's siblings or relatives or another contact. Oh, ew, that's gross. Cultists of the black goat put drops of alien fluid called mother's milk into drinking water and food to receive the goddess's blessing. Sometimes they also add mother's milk to the food they hand over as tribute to sow madness and confusion amongst their image. Oh. So this creature consuming a poison called mother's milk, y'all, must make a DC Constitution saving throw. Repeat customers of mother milk make this saving throw with advantage. On a failed save, the creature is poisoned for an hour, during which time it experiences a series of terrifying hallucinations. On a successful level, the creature isn't poisoned and instead experiences a series of pleasant and often lewd hallucinations for 1 hour. Oh boy, the roleplay that would happen in that moment. Looks like we've got another spilled... Oh, I love that spilled milk. The PCs are traveling through the waste when they encounter a group of hobgoblins and their wagon filled with food given as tribute by the nearest village laced with mother's milk. Ooh. Hobgoblins gone a little off the rails for mother's milk. Love this. So, you've got places of worship for this cult. Talks about some of their temples. And it looks like you get a wonderful NPC. Here she is. I love her. She's so wonderful. I have a little thing for goblins if you haven't figured out. Mother's Speaker Bonabella, a prophet of the black goat, presides over a cathedral of the black goat. Bonabella is a full-figured human woman dressed in black. Oh, that must not be her. Who this person? Because they cute. I want to know who they are. Because she's definitely not human. I just want to know who you are. Maybe it's just some art because she's adorable and I want to play her. Let's see. Ooh, while the goat of the woods manifests in Madrid Mask, her most terrifying manifestations is the black goat of 1,000 young. She consumes all life, devouring it, and replaces it with her wretched spawn's foul and deformed transformation. She becomes the apocalypse, the harbinger of change that brings the end of all things and the creator of all things exists. And the creator of all that exists. So it looks like we've got some stat blocks here because it never hurts to have somebody that might want to attack. And it seems that we have a variant option. Some cultists attempt to fuse themselves to the goat of the woods by undergoing eldritch ritual surgeries to transform themselves into warped demonic creatures. Ooh. So if you really want to go all out and you really want to get weird, it seems like the cult of the black goat has a little bit of everything. You've got the apocalyptic general, but you also have, it looks like, some eldritch stuff going on here, which is really fun to add into any kind of apocalyptic setting. Yeah, I was wondering, me too, if the 1,000 Young were going to come into it. It seems that something about the 1,000 Young is maybe the choice of transformation, the choice to merge with it. Man, but a lot of ways I think this cult can be used in a lot of different kind of waste option settings. I mean, this could even be used in a Western, for Pete's sake, and take it up a notch. But there's very clearly, especially with this mother's milk, this idea of aliens, this kind of other species from another world. It's funny, actually, just the other night I watched that kind of horrible movie, Cowboys versus Aliens. And it actually made me think a lot about this book in particular, and how the West, the American West setting is very sparse anyways, and kind of apocalyptic in its own right, only because there wasn't a lot out there and people were building from nothing, and there wasn't a lot to build from to begin with. I mean, it's the desert. But I loved the idea of aliens coming into it, and the kind of use of technology meeting low living or low lifestyle. And this book actually offers a lot of that. It talks about kind of alien machines coming into the works. Obviously, we get the Eldritch impressions as well. So I think there's a lot of really cool opportunity that can come with something like this. So that is the only preview we've got for you, because we can't give you all the spoils. But I can tell you that this whole chapter will be full of other cults and groups that you can use. Factions, that's a better word. More factions that you can use. This is only one. And look, this was, 3 or 4 pages long, so I can only imagine there'll be a few more of these, giving you a lot to go on, especially if you're looking for a faction tie-in for your players, or a faction to drive action. So really, really, really love this. Ooh, so exciting. Okay, that's the end, right? Of course it is. And I will say this too. One of the things that I found most interesting is kind of having actually played some of the content now, is how nice it partnered with what is the one we just dropped? Toma Heroes. It partnered so nicely with Toma Heroes because it had a lot of character options, and so did this book, right? I can go ahead and tell you some of the races that you're going to see used in the Tales from the Wasted West show over on Realmsmith will include the Wasteland Orc, which is a variant on the Orc and has some specialty stuff. The same thing for the Dust Goblin. Technically, Kobold Press doesn't have goblins as a playable race until now. And the Dust Goblin has some really cool builds to it. I actually get the great joy of getting to play our Dust Goblin, so you'll get to actually see me use a lot of that throughout. But some of the things I guess I'll kind of spoil to you, because they're survivors of whatever the wasteland is. They're much hardier, so some extra constitution for these little guys. And because they are constantly in survival mode, they're also a little bit faster. So no longer do I have to stick at the 20-foot goblin speed. You get to come up to 30, everybody. You get to move as fast as everybody else, even though you're the little guy. And one of the things I really loved about the Goblin playable race in this, and honestly in Ebb and Tides too, because there's goblins there, is Kobold Press has really taken a new view for the goblin. Sometimes goblins get a bad rap, y'all. They don't always get handled very delicately. And part of that, I feel like, is because we just don't open our minds to what goblins could do. So in the Book of Ebb and Tides, goblins have their own political structure. They're extremely charismatic and smart. They've built an entire city around their life. And I don't mean like a small village, like a city, just like any other race. And with Wastes of Chaos, one of the things that I'm very excited and kind of proud of with the Dust Goblins from Kobold Press is that it also takes kind of a new view of the Dust Goblin, or the Goblin in general, and says, yes, they are the way they are because they're survivors, not because it's built into their race. They have to live in small groups for this reason. We have to give them some extra stuff. And being creatures of the wasteland, they are long-term affected by the wastes themselves. And so they're not necessarily always... No, I won't even say it that way. The wasteland has affected them to be a little bit more astute and hardy for whatever comes at them, versus a lot of races that may be walking into a wasteland and they don't have that for them. So these goblins aren't just kind of naive, or even, I hate the term stupid, but they get called that a lot. They're actually really smart hunters and survivors, and oftentimes guides if they're kind of moving outside of their small groups or their villages. The goblins in the Wastes of Chaos are really super duper important, and I love that because goblins are never considered important. They're just usually what we hunt. And in this, they become something that you can seek out. They become creatures that you can work with, and that can oftentimes help the party in certain ways, or be a really great, awesome addition to the party. I can also tell you there's some really dope class builds. There's a ranger class that I love, but honestly, without giving too much away, my favorite one, and you can see it actually in action in our campaign, is a rogue build. There's a rogue build that makes a rogue that can be a healer. I know. I love this idea of kind of a priest-like rogue who also has the capability of healing. And actually, Alexander Stangram plays a character who took on that build, and he does a fabulous job. Such a very cool way. Cunning goblins are the best goblins. Thank you for that. That was a great word, cunning. They're extremely cunning, and therefore they're not anything but smart and full of wit and intelligence and a lot of constitution, I'll tell you that too. So I really, really love what we've done with the Dust Goblins, and as somebody that just played 8 episodes or eight sessions as a Dust Goblin, I'm in love. In fact, I loved them so much, I forced my table at DragonCon, one of my tables at DragonCon, which if you missed it, is going up to YouTube this week. We aired it last week, but you can actually watch that live show that we did with some really awesome cast members. And I ran them through the Impregnable Fortress of Dib, which is a pretty standard first, second level goblin run, but I made all of them play Dust Goblins. And they had to go take back the wagon from Dib, who had taken it from them. And so we just had this kind of party of Dust Goblins from all these various classes, and having a whole group of goblins, being able to run a campaign with nothing but goblins was my literal joy. It was so much fun, and I loved it. So I have nothing but positive things to say there. But I also want to tell you, we have a few other really neat races, including the Automaton. Probably one of my favorites. And I know you're going to go, oh, but we already have kind of a mechanical build. Y'all, this is not that. The automatons are grown. They're grown. They're grown in vats. And they oftentimes look extremely human, even though they may have mechanical parts. And so you're going to get to see the automaton played by Katieosaurus Online, who gives, I mean, I could not have picked a better player to handle the automaton. Such a really neat addition to a wasteland setting or a wasteland guide like this that can be used in so many different ways. Loved the automaton. Yeah, it's kind of like a Borg. Exactly, it's kind of like a Borg. Yep. Oh, thanks, Griffin. Yeah, that one was a lot of fun for them to be like, it was so much goblin. It was just a lot of goblins, but it was really, really great. But yeah, it is. The automaton is more like a Borg in that they are grown kind of in these vats. They have a history. And then when they are brought to life or birthed in some way, they get some special things, right? So what is their augmentation? Is it their arms, their legs? What part of the body gets the mechanical augmentation? They have some specific rules around how to heal them and fix them because they're different than a standard kind of sentient race. They are sentient, obviously, but they're not like a human, right? I can't just heal with magic. So a lot of really neat stuff there. And then I want to talk about this one, but I don't know if we've announced it, so I can't say what it's called. But I can tell you, in here, there is also an alien race. And oh boy, if you like tentacles, you're going to love this new playable race because it gives a whole new meaning to both chaos and eldritch horror. Some really cool stuff for that, especially if you're looking to kind of merge like tech, like low tech and kind of this wasteland setting. The idea that aliens are here, even the Cult of the Black Goat, which we just read about, has some really neat options for that. And this idea that there are aliens that walk among us. Where do they come from? How do they get here? Are they part of the reason this is now a wasteland? Is a lot of that questioning, but there's just some really cool stuff in that build that I don't think I can totally spoil yet, but as soon as I can, I'll tell you all about it. But and then of course, like I said, you get a new orc, half orc build as well, which is I think very cool. And there you can see that played by KP11 Studios in our live show, because they took that class on, or they took that race on, along with one of the new class features from Tome of Heroes, little swashbuckling sword gun action. It's really cool. So that being said, I can't spoil too much more because I feel like they're just gonna get really mad at me if I tell you too much. But you can you've at least hopefully gotten a really good idea of what you can expect from this book. It's kind of encouraging to see that this is not something that tells you how you should do it, or like a book that says this is what it is. Instead, it gives you so many options to kind of pick and choose exactly how you want to build your house, right? You want a red door, you want green shutters, and you want a tin roof? Well, oh boy, have we got all of that for you. And here's how you can piece it together to make your home exactly like you want it. And I think that is what's going to be so unique about this book, specifically The Wastes of Chaos, is that it is going to give you so many tools in your toolbox as a GM that you're going to be able to create not only your own homebrew setting, but you'll be able to create quick and easy one-shots, which is something we're always looking for. It's going to be a quick way to create just a portion of a much larger world if you want. The book does a really great job of asking the right questions for a GM. And I think that is what's so important when it comes to building a wasteland setting. The why. Why is the world this way? Why are resources sparse? Why is magic like this? Why does this cult rise? These really interesting sections at the beginning of the book that help you parse out what makes a great either post-apoc setting or some kind of wasted setting. What makes it great? And I think that is one of the things that this book has done exponentially well, because honestly, those are the questions that Wolfgang and his team had to ask themselves when they built a wasteland setting for Midgard, and probably the inspiration for where all of this came from. So, on that note, I don't think I have any questions that came through in chat, so we may wrap a smidge early today, but I wanted to leave you actually with a preview of the trailer. Oh, I gotta pull it up. Oh, I'm such a goob. From the show that's coming on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. And for those of you that missed it, you can always head over to YouTube. I'll be in both chats tonight, Twitch and over on YouTube, so we can chat all about it. If you missed episode 1, you can go right now over to Realmsmith's YouTube channel and check that out and get caught up before tonight. It's a nice 3-hour show with a good break in the middle. And man, oh man, if you love Westerns, you're in for a treat. And if you don't love Westerns, you're also in for a treat, which is one of the things I love about this campaign, is it has a little bit of something for everybody. And if you want to see me in my best Chaos Goblin form, I got you. Let's see if I can't find that trailer really quick. I totally forgot that I wanted to show it to you. Here it is. Maybe. And actually, I'm going to drop you guys a link to Realmsmith's channel as well. Oh no, you're probably getting his trailer. Sorry. Here we go. Nope. I found it. Y'all, he did such a good job with this teaser. And I'll tell you, we've had a lot of questions about this show. So we were lucky enough, Kobold Press was, to partner with Realmsmith on this production. Yes, you are into weird Westerns. I think you're going to really like this one, Other Doc. I know you love Westerns, so I know you're going to love this. One of the things that we did was we decided that for this, we really wanted to do something on location. And we looked at studios and nothing quite worked out. And thanks to the kindness of a fan from Realmsmith and a friend, Teddy, he owned a cabin in the North Georgia mountains, a beautiful cabin. And so we all literally took our production into a cabin for 5 days, and we had the great joy of sitting in the North Georgia mountains on site. So we even we rented horses at a stable one day and took pictures. We did a full day of B-roll and photos in full costume. Yes, we did in fact do full prosthetics for a bear folk. Jesse Jaredek makes the best bear folk around, and I'm about to show that to you as well. So I just want to say, awesome. So many awesome things that kind of came of that, I guess you could say. Ooh, hang on. So I guess without further ado, what I can do is give you a little bit of a teaser here by playing our trailer. And I'm reminding you to go jump over if you haven't caught up. I can tell you that we did some after shows talking with the cast, both about the new Waste of Chaos product and just the experience at the table. Those after shows are made available to their Patreon and to our Kickstarter backers. So that first episode is coming. The first episode after show is coming to our backers. So another great reason, because now you're going to start getting behind the scene content from people in the industry that have actually been playing it and can tell you all about it. All right, I think I got this ready. I think I have this ready to go. If I do this, I'm gonna try this. Hopefully I don't kill. I don't want to kill StreamYard, but I think it'll be all right. Oh, I know why. Right. Okay, so if I do this. Yes. Nope. Yes. Yes. Okay, if I do this, and I do this, and then I do this, I know y'all can't see what I'm doing, but I promise I'm making it work. Nope. And I do this, I can show it to you. Look at me go. And if you want to watch this preview again of the trailer, which is, like I said, super duper awesome, you can actually head over to their YouTube. It is available for you there as well. So I'm going to transition, and I'll be back after the trailer's done so we can hype up and get out of here today, everybody. Oh, wait, this isn't the right one. I prepped the wrong one. It doesn't mean it's just not the one I wanted. It's not the one I wanted. But that one's just a teaser. You don't want the teaser. You guys want the full trailer. I want to show you the full trailer. How did this happen to me? I did this so quickly last week. No problem at all. And now I can't find... Oh, found it. Boop. I'm going to let the... Yes. Yes, now we're in for a win. I got to let the ad finish, y'all. Sorry. Okay. Let's go back and try it again. I should also make sure you had sound. I made that mistake last week, too. Let me just make sure. Because I don't want you to not have it. Perfect. All right. Looks like we're good to go there. Let's try this one more time. Here we go. Transitioning now. Oh no. Well, there was an end part, but we're all cute. It's fine. There you go, everybody. A little taste of what you might get out of our campaign. We had a lot of fun. Georgia was really hot for all of those costumes, but we did it for you. We did it for you to show off the new Waste to Chaos book and show you how somebody outside of Kobold Press uses it. You know, that was a big conversation we had. We wanted to hand over this content to somebody who maybe doesn't use Kobold Press that often and say, make something unique. Make something that is entirely yours. And Jason was really inspired by the idea of this kind of post-apocalyptic Western setting and has done a phenomenal job. So if you want to see it tonight, 8 p.m. every Wednesday for the next 7 weeks, counting today, and you can go catch episode 1 right now over on YouTube if that trailer hyped you up. And if it didn't, I don't know what will, because every time I watch it, I get excited, and I know because I was in the show. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. If you have not backed the Kickstarter yet, The Waste of Chaos, please consider it. It is going to be a very cool and unique... Oop, hang on. It didn't like my code. Now, it posted earlier, didn't it? Oh, I know why. Oh, wait. No. It doesn't like my code. I'm going to give y'all a direct link because for some reason it's just being a goob. Boop. There you go. There's a link. There's a link in chat. We'll have it below if you're watching this on YouTube afterwards as well. And remember, we love you over on YouTube. If you've got questions or comments after watching this, drop them below. We're happy to chat with you, try to get them answered if we can. And then, of course, if you have really direct questions about the Kickstarter, if you're a backer, please make sure you go through the Kickstarter to ask those questions so we can make sure customer service and our crew gets to you ASAP. I want to thank you all for tuning in today, for checking out what we're doing, and for staying tuned for a little deep dive of what I could show you about the Waste of Chaos. Next week, we're actually going to be sitting down with some of the writers who wrote the adventures for Tales from the Waste, and we can ask them a little bit about their process, what they added to it, and what you can expect from some of the campaigns in that book with the Kickstarter as well. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. See you all hopefully tonight in chat. And if not, ping us over on social media after you watch it. Let us know if you love it. The cast is really active and we love hyping people up and we love interacting with you and hearing what you like. So let us know, keep us posted, and we will see you next week. Same Kobold time, same Kobold channel for another Kobold Chats. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye.